Have you ever planned out your day in advance, knowing and having high expectation of what was going to happen? Maybe you planned for this day, you had your clothes laid out, you identified what you were going to do or what you were going to say, and you wake up in that mode of I am ready, I am prepared, I am excited, I am thankful, only to later experience something that throws off your entire day, your entire plan. Has that happened to you? That's what we're going to be talking about today because it definitely just happened to me. Why are we so easily shaken? Why is that? Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the KimUnity Soulutions Podcast, the only podcast that turns workplace challenges into real world solutions. I am your host, Kim the SME, and today we're going to be talking about shaken, not stirred, because that's what happens. We get shaken up. Why is it that maybe not the slightest thing, I won't say it's the slightest thing, but something can come in and deter you or make you lose focus on what you had planned, what you had in store, what you had been prepared for? Why is that? It starts with self-awareness. We need to be self-aware in these moments. Are you self-aware? What is it that can easily move you, move your thought process, deter your goals? Lately, I've been allowing myself to get distracted, to get easily shaken by life events, whether it's news or a phone call or some type of emergency. These things are going to happen. That's a part of life, right? But please understand this. Once you get closer to your dreams and it starts to become a reality, that's where the enemy comes in and tries to distract you. It tries to prevent you from getting to your next destination. In these moments, we should not be shaken. We should be staying the course. And I realize that it can be the slightest thing that can deter me and make me want to go get two bars of Haagen-Dazs ice cream bars with the chocolate and the nuts on the outside and the vanilla on the inside. I'll call my daughters and tell them to pick me up some on the way home. Knowing that I was just so focused of going to the gym and working out and juicing and fasting, only for something to pop up, to get some kind of bad news or something didn't go my way to where I end up sabotaging what I have been succeeding at or preparing for. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode today is talking about being aware and not becoming shaken. Yes, life will happen and we should be stirred. And when I think of this and when I thought of this, I was thinking about it was the martinis. I'm sorry, I don't drink those, but the martinis, and you say shaken, not stirred, right? And sometimes we self-sabotage and we just shake instead of just stirring and thinking about it and pondering and praying and meditating, something that's slower, something that requires movement, right? Some type of change, some type of rotation, some type of adjustment, but nothing that's going to overflow and give you less than what you put in. We have to become more stirred. We cannot be so quick to be shaken to where the slightest thing will throw off our entire day, our entire progress for the week or the month. We have to stop. And if you can't relate to this, then that's a great thing. That means this episode is not particularly to you, but you can use it in the future. It comes down to emotional discipline. Now, there's some things that will never shake us. You can be a great athlete, right? Nothing will come in the way of you and your basketball dreams, your practices, your games. You will make sure that you are there. Or it's your gymnastics or your yoga or whatever it is. But there's something or someone that can call you up or can ask you a question or can or needs you, right, to where you have to stop what you're doing. Just like right now, I need to turn my messages off. Where you have to stop what you're doing. My daughter just texted me and said it's hot. She's right next door. She can easily go downstairs and adjust the air. You see what I'm saying? But I will not be shaken. This is a prime example of when we're just stirred. We just need to adjust. That's it. We just need to adjust. There's nothing to get upset over or irate or, cuss anyone else out. And it's not the world. We will be needed. People, that's what we're here for, is to help others. So we can't always be upset that we are the one that's being contacted. How are you handling that? Can you not handle that? So I've spoken about being shaken. That's real. It's more agitated, right? It's uncontrolled. It's wild. It's out of order. But when we're talking about stirred, we're talking about more calm, more purposeful, more meaningful, with intention. We should be able to move from one thing to another and it not just overly impact our day or our schedule mentally and spiritually. And what happened with me today was I was planning to go to an event. I had my outfit laid off, and sometimes you have to talk yourself into things, right? But this time I was ready. I had my outfit ready. I had my bags packed. I had all the documents that I needed, and I was excited. And it wasn't to anyone else's fault that I didn't go, so I won't say that at all. But it just hit me mentally. It's my fault. My fault for being scattered. My fault for being shaken. My fault for thinking that what I plan for will always be perfectly laid out and will always go that way. That's not the case. We have to be pliable. We have to be bendable. And I just found this recipe of tortillas because my downfall is bread. I love bread. And HEB has the best tortillas. So I said, I cannot continue to keep eating these tortillas. I need to find a healthier way, right? And so what I did was I found a recipe, and all it calls for is lentils, the red lentils, and vegetable broth. And I blended it up and I poured it in my skillet. And these tortillas were so pliable. Sometimes you get scared. It's like, okay, I don't want a hard taco. Like, you don't want to be able to put all your ingredients on this tortilla and you bend it and it cracks and then all your food comes out the bottom, right? You want that thing to bend and be soft. And that's exactly what happened. I made these tortillas and they were pliable. We need to be like that. We need to be able to move, to conform, to adjust. It relieves some of the pressure. Going into something and thinking that everything is going to be without any hiccups creates false expectations. Now, I'm very big on expectations. I know that there's something out there for me. I know that there's a blessing out there before me. But I also know that preparation is key. Just like speakers, they can plan to go out to an event and they can study their speech and all of that. But if they're not prepared, if they don't have a microphone or the clicker for their PowerPoint presentation, and they didn't check in advance to see if the event space was going to have it, or if they have the PowerPoint but they don't have the screen, right? You have to be able to adjust. Preparation is key. And what I have learned and what I realized today, and I can't say it's my first time, but first time in this instance, when I realized how bad it really was. And my husband said, go ahead and go to the event. But I had gotten this phone call and I just wanted to help so bad, but I couldn't. It's long distance. And my heart went that way. My heart went that way. And I know I needed to be present to attend this networking event. So my heart needed to be here. I had to be focused on them, on their needs. And I knew that it would take so much from me. Why do I say that? Mental. That was negative self-talk. Did you hear what I just said? I knew that it was going to be negative. That is what we have to work on. Even when we know better, it will creep up on us. And that's exactly what happened. I let it. I can't. I said, no, I'm not going to go. It's an every week event. So it's not something that I'm not going to be able to make it this next time. But you never know who was there to meet you. You never know who was there that needed you. You never know where your blessing was sitting at, expecting you to arrive, and you don't make it. You have talking yourself out of it. And me staying home, did that fix anything? Did that put me in the other place where I wanted to be? No, it didn't. So now I lost out twice, right? I missed an opportunity for something that I couldn't have been able to help anyway. And I'm telling you this so you can, if you have not experienced this, you can hear my message and my story and learn from that. Once you catch yourself doing it, you can say, oh no, I remember Kim said this, so no, I'm going to continue with my plans. I'm going to continue. It's not the best or the ideal situation, but I'm going to make it the best. There's something out there for me. And that's all I want you to get out of this message. We have to stop being so quick to be shaken and understand it's okay to be stirred. It's okay. Know where your help comes from. Know where your strength comes from. Pay attention to what you're saying to yourself. Stop talking yourself out of your blessings and out of your destiny. In these moments, we have to pause and we have to reflect. And this goes for anything. Whatever you're unhappy with, even if it's with someone else, you have to sit down and think about, okay, what could I have done different? I didn't cause this, but let me dig a little deeper and see how I could have foreseen this. How I saw this behavior before, but I ignored it. What could you have done better? And at the same time, it could be for your good. It could have been a blessing that I don't even know about of why it didn't go. Right? There could have been an accident on the way. You never know. You never know, but it's important. It is important to make sure that we are not easily thrown off of our path. How are we going to get there? How are we going to complete the journey? How are we going to experience life? We have to pause. We have to reflect. We have to breathe. We have to give thanks. We have to laugh. We have to love. Being shaken takes so much energy. And I realized that today after I couldn't help over here and then I decided not to go over here. Now I'm feeling 2 times worse than I started off with. Because one I couldn't do and the other I chose not to do. Self-sabotage. Self-destruction, when you're giving in to your own thoughts. We mess up because we unconsciously believe that we know what's going to happen at the end of our decision. We know the outcome. We say, I'm going to choose A because I know if I do A, then I'm going to get B. Or if I do B, then I won't get C like I want, so I'm not going to do B. We don't know the outcome. We have to plan, we have to pray, we have to plan, and we have to proceed. Right? Being shaken shows that yes, you are alive, but you're not in control. Or I take that back. Being shaken means that you're alive and you want the control. You have the control. You're the shaker. You're doing it to yourself. We need to work on that. I need to work on that. And if it's not you, please learn from me. You can listen to all these podcasts and all these shows and everything, and they can tell you the great things and look on Instagram and scroll on Facebook and see all the glitz and the glory and the great lives that they're showing you. But there's some errors in there. There's some mistakes in there. There's some life lessons in there. And what I do on this show is share my experiences. I am speaking from my experiences. That's why I am Kim, the SME, speaker of my experiences, because what I have learned so far in my life is that no one wants to tell you the story. No one wants to tell you the truth. And it's not about being nosy. It's about helping someone else understand, helping someone else prepare, helping someone else avoid the same mistakes that you made. Learning from other people's mistakes is the best life lesson. It's the best. And so, yes, I'm going to come on here and I'm going to tell you what I did right. I'm going to tell you what I've learned from. I'm going to tell you what I need to work on. I'm going to tell you what I'm here to help you do. What I have seen other people's fall at or fail at, what I have taken from that. That's what we need. We need more truth. We need more honesty. We need to be sharing our stories, our trials, our triumphs. You have no idea what you need until you need it. So I tell you this right now, today, is that preparation is key. Number one, preparation is key. And number two, When we are prepared and things still don't go our way, we should not be shaken. It's okay to be stirred. Even if you're shaken in that moment, being self-aware in that moment and saying, okay, let me take a break. Let me pause. Let me reflect. Let me breathe. Let me gather myself. Give me a minute, everybody. Let me sit down for a minute. Let me think about it. I'm going in the room. Just pause in that moment. Only to gather your thoughts and to get understanding and to figure out how to proceed going forward. Instead of just shaking it and letting everything come out the cup and overflow, and now you have nothing. And now you're upset because you have nothing. This is all I have for you today. This is today's lesson. This happened today, and this is today's lesson that I am sharing from my life to you on something that you can learn from, something you can avoid. It's life. It's life. The same thing we tell our children. Go ahead, pursue that degree. We don't know what's going to happen in the end. Yes, you can change majors down the line. It's all a part of the journey, and we have to tell ourselves the same information, the same guidance with love to ourselves. We don't know. It's all a part of the journey. We need to be more pliable and get in the flow. Get in the flow of your own future. Get in the flow of your own life. Get in the flow of your faith, because that's where your steps are ordered. Or if you believe in, I'm not sure what you believe. I'm just speaking again from my experience. I'm telling you my experience. You apply it to your life. I am your host, Kim the SME. I thank you for joining another episode of the KimUnity Soulutions Podcast, the only podcast that turns workplace challenges into real world solutions. Pause, reflect, and stir. Be blessed.